Okay,
All right, we're live.
All right,
I'm sorry.
we're gonna start the committee of the whole in the agenda. Okay, we have a couple of, we have 4 resolutions. 4 resolutions, 4 consents. And we have 1 item that was tabled from the last meeting to bring back onto the agenda. So then, first resolution, 2526-118 is adopting the minutes from the last common council meeting. Resolution 2526-119. Kelly, you'll sponsor this one? This is a resolution appointing deputy mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2526-120, resolution authorizing the 2026 fees for the recreation department events and activities.
Okay, you'll see this attached, the proposed fee schedule, and then the vendor form, and also Rob is here. If you'd like to come talk to us.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, obviously, I'm glad to answer them. And also, just to let you know, we haven't had a rec commission meeting, and the last few have been canceled, just because of scheduling conflicts with members. And so this has not been run by the commission yet, but we just needed to get it in front of you. So we have a meeting Monday night of the rec commission. So however you would like to handle that, is up to you. But like I said, we have not put this before the commission yet.
So none of these fees have been increased, Rob, correct?
They're exactly the same as.
And your rationale for that is?
In the year-end 25 report, we ended up 93,000 in expenses, and we took in about 96,000.
You had like a $2,000, but
surplus. So we did really well there. I think we're up to with a lot of good commitments for next year, or for 26 already. So I think we're in good shape going forward. And as I did mention to the mayor, we're very fortunate with the vendors that they keep coming back every year because a lot of vendors make for a good event. And while we still fill our vendors and every event is crowded and sold out, I think we have seen interest wane a little, just a tiny bit, where we don't have the overflow that we had a few years ago. So just in my opinion, I would keep everything the same moving forward. And we do charge, we didn't charge nonprofits up until a couple of years ago, and now we charge nonprofits. We went up 25% in the regular vendor rental space. So we did increase it over the past, I think 2 out of the past 3 years.
I only have one question, Rob. The camper, how are we doing with that? Summer camp?
And
Do you have a lot of people,
Ask me
less people?
So, ask me for an explanation why, and I can't give it to you, but last year we were down significantly. Probably 30 kids a week. I don't have the number in front of me, but I know it was down. Maybe it was a one-time thing. We didn't change the price. We didn't know of anything else that's going on. I know the school did have more activities, summer programming for kids.
Well,
I don't
we have
remember.
more programming for kids.
We have more programming too. That's a good point.
But I'm saying that the kids that the enrollment in the camp was down like 30 kids.
I'd say probably, somewhere 20, 25. Like I said, I don't know the exact number offhand, but it was definitely down. But we did have park counselors. I know the school has more activities in the summer every single year. They've been adding on to their summer programming where they're doing I think it was like related to STEM, education programming. So maybe that has to do with it. Maybe it's not. We haven't had any issues, our programming hasn't changed. So I don't see any reason for it, but we'll see what happens this year. Last year was the first time.
Well, and one of the other things that we've spoken about was, with the commission brainstorming things that could be done to generate more income within the event itself. And you had talked about some of the things like getting more sponsors to do specific parts of the event. You started doing that a little bit more last year?
We started with this year, so
Okay.
we're trying to sell whatever we can to come up with to add, always trying to just bring in more revenue, to add specific things to the events. I think we're in a good place organizationally where, Michelle and I have it down pretty good right now, so I think we're good with that. So we're trying to sell more sponsorships, and the referencing we never had a skate sponsor before for Winterfest. So we just put it out on Facebook. We just said, hey, let's just put this out there, see if somebody wants to, sponsor the skate rental program for that day. And, lo and behold, AAA answered within a day and said, hey, we'll give you $1,000 for it. So we're gonna continue doing things like that.
One thing I was thinking of, Mayor, the summer camp, does that tie into, remember how we send people to camp, the parks and?
Yes.
Could that be it?
Well, that's one of the things he mentioned. It could possibly be, but, I don't know. I think more so, Jim, you know how they did we had the school coaches doing all those clinics?
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids who may have gone to those clinics didn't go to the summer camp
Because that was free as well.
because that was free.
Okay.
So like Tim Jones, got money from the county to do 6-week summer program right at Lynch.
He got money from Senator Fahey as well.
Senator Fahey as well, I'm sorry about that, yeah.
So Mary, are we gonna go, you and I talked. Do we wanna go back to that again? Summer
I
camp?
think it's beneficial,
I do too, I agree with you.
and I think that we need to discuss that. I talked to Rob about putting things in his budget. The summer program that we had at the individual parks, there were some parks that nobody showed up. We talked about targeting it more. We definitely want to put somebody at Esperanza Verde this summer. We want to put somebody at Vets. We want to put somebody at Shuttleworth, possibly. What was the other one we talked about?
One East End. Esperanza.
Esperanza, yeah.
But also the security, not when I say security,
Oh,
the
I see.
additional help we had, monitoring, we want to include some of that. So those are things that we got granted for last year that we may have to, they were effective enough. But that's
Okay.
the other thing, Rob, I want to ask the council, generating more revenue from the recreation events. Right now, we're keeping all those things the same, but I think I want direction from the council. Do we want to make some more money to pay for these other things that we are probably going to have to self-fund? So we got a $2,000 surplus over the whole course of the year. I think if we're gonna, and I fully endorse and support and hope the council agrees that we want to continue some of the things we started last summer, including those coaches clinics, which I thought went very, very well. And if we do, we've got to figure out now the school district did say
Yeah.
that next year they would,
I think there's funding.
that's
I
right.
checked on that. I think the funding is all set for that without the council, without
Which
the
is
city
great,
budget.
so we don't have to worry about that. It's the additional park supervision, those types of things.
Yes, the park supervision and the park attendance.
But Jimmy, the long answer to your question is I do think those things did have an impact on the summer camp enrollment. But they're good things. They're not like it's bad.
I'm in agreement with you and I
And
really,
I believe so too. The camp counselors at the parks were so wonderful
Yeah,
because people can let their kids go to the park knowing there's an adult there
Yeah.
to take care of them,
Yeah.
so. Or watch over them to make sure
Yeah,
that
it's
it's
great.
not running and keeping them busy.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great idea.
okay,
I think we started off broad with that last year
Yeah.
and, we did every single park that we could think of. And like the mayor just mentioned, because of attendance in some of them, we already have all the supplies, everything is stored. So I think we spent $4,000 or $5,000 on supplies last year and, we have most of that stuff. So it would just be staffing.
but we do want you to, at the next Recreation Commission meeting, to go over these rates with everybody and go over some of the things we're talking about with them and get some inputs from them as well. All
So,
right, any other questions?
Yeah, just real quick, back to the ice skating thing, not to shift gears too harshly, but, 50,000 for the ice skates, is that out of your budget? Is that a grant? Like, did I read that correctly?
wait, what are we talking about?
5,500?
Oh, 5,000, yeah,
Yeah,
so,
sorry, I said 50,000, sorry.
I mean, this is what happened. Usually we rent the skates every year,
Sure.
for about around $2,000, maybe 2,200 or something like that. And the gentleman just called, he said, I'm putting out to, everybody who rents from us, I'm getting out of the business. First one that wants to take this offer, he said, I'd like 5,500 and you get 200 pair of ice skates. The shelves that they come on, the blade sharpeners, and so on. So I went to the mayor, I said, hey, this is basically,
It's 2 years worth of
well, that's
rental.
what, that's what the mayor was saying. We've already rented, I wish he said it
Right.
3 years ago because I think we rented them, 3 or 4 times probably. So, talking about it with the mayor, it seemed like a no-brainer. Geez, why, we're talking about expanding ice
That's right.
skating, maybe it goes to the golf course or whatever, and now we've got, we're not paying him for the rental this year, we're just paying him for the
So
skates.
now we can rent them out to other municipalities, right?
That's up to you guys.
Or also, Winterfest is always weather dependent.
Yes.
So in this case, like if we have them, we could
I didn't.
open up
another-
on a Saturday,
That's
rent the
right. I
skates
didn't really
and
do that.
pay for
Totally.
the staffing that way. Cause yeah, we need a staff to rent the skates out, but we can run them that way or something, and then it would just be like, oh, we can open 3 days this month because it's actually
But
cold.
also, as
Right.
Rob said, he just got a sponsor this year for $1,000 to pay for the the skate rentals, correct?
Yeah.
So we could do that and continue to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I
Put
think
that
there's an
money toward
opportunity for some revenue
Right.
generation, renting
The cost
skates.
of buying the skates.
Yeah, cause it is hard, like I'm not gonna buy skates
No,
for my
right,
kids.
that's, I think,
They're gonna
But I'll
grow
spend
in
$3
2 minutes,
and
but
I,
I'll, yeah.
however it plays out next year, I know the Golf Foundation has mentioned, doing winter activities up there, the mayor's, mentioned winter activities. So however that plays out, I think it's a good thing. We have 200 pair of skates. We're good on that front. And, it's a good starting point. Like you said, we would pay to rent them anyway, so now we have them.
So who's gonna maintain them, sanitize them,
Well, we
sharpen them,
didn't
the whole
get,
nine?
so
Yeah.
we didn't get that, because this literally just happened I think last week. So we'll do that for Winterfest. And then, it may be too late to put all these in place for this year, to come up with a rental program or,
Right, no,
You know,
for
that's-
next, yeah, definitely next
but-
year. Yeah.
that's never in our, when we met with the Golf Foundation a month, 6 weeks ago, we had talked about all these things. And we had made a couple phone calls and sent a couple text messages and emails about where can we get skates? Where can we get cross-country skis? Where can we get, for next year? We weren't talking about this year. And lo and behold, this basically just fell into our lap.
Beautiful.
Okay,
So Kelly, do you want to table this so that it can go before the commission? And then bring it back on the
Yeah,
next?
that's my fault. I kind of put the cart before the horse here, but at least if we had discussion, I can go to the commission if you'd like. We meet on Monday and then I can come to the council first meeting and
Yeah. And that's
If you
probably a
so
good
choose.
idea. I mean, it is nice to have like this discussion and then, yeah, you can talk to the commission on Monday and then there's no rush on this. Well, I mean,
no, it's
It will
easily.
a month- will 2
no-
weeks
no
delay
vendors-
you.
Yeah, no vendors are signing up right now. You know what I mean? It's not urgent.
right, but if it was 2 more weeks and then you could get going on the sponsorships and stuff. And people are already, they know if they're, a lot of them are,
Right,
like you said, are
everybody, yes.
returning
We
anyway.
reach out to them in November
Yeah.
just to check.
okay.
Okay, so let's table this and by seeing any adjustments that we have, the commission comes up with next,
Okay.
the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right,
very
thank you.
much.
Thanks, Rob.
And the next resolution is 2526-121. It's approving the audit. The audit is fine. I reviewed the bills and it's fine. Okay, our consents. We have to bring back a tabled item. Do we do that now or we do it later? We can talk about it now? Okay. Resolution 2526-112, resolution designating committee assignments. Any changes or updates?
Irene, I don't have that with me.
This?
Right,
You
because we didn't have it. Nobody asked to put it back on, so I
Okay.
don't have that. Thank you.
Is everyone fine with the item?
Mhm.
Yes?
Okay.
Okay. Kelly?
I don't have it in front of me. It looks for time last week. that week's here.
It's on the last agenda.
So that should go on the old business.
Has there been any changes made to the committee assignments? I mean, that
I
was,
haven't made, I do not have any, Jimmy, you don't have any?
No change been made, and it's already on there. It's Kelly's now
Okay.
recreation.
Yeah, so Marty, yeah.
That's the only one.
That's it?
okay,
The only request to change.
That's good. So,
So we can I'll make a motion, take it off the table, we can vote on it. Okay?
okay.
all right, resolution 2526-122, resolution appointing commissioner of deeds.
Yep, just,
Kathleen Bonner.
Yep, that's simple as that, just a appointment for Commissioner of Deeds, and it's a 2-year appointment.
Any concerns? No, okay. 2526-123, resolution waiving 30-day advance notice application for liquor license Pool Prodigy LLC.
We voted on this before, but then they came back and they added, there's one little thing in here, adding first whereas clause. They're gonna add a sidewalk cafe. Okay, that's what they're gonna do. So that's why we are doing this again.
We're gonna add a sidewalk cafe.
Yeah, basically, they're gonna probably sell food outside.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the fee structure for the golf course. Okay, where the hell they put that? All right.
We need sidewalks.
123. This is resolution 123,
Got you.
and it's the Elks Club, the old Marshall building.
And
on
they had
West
one
Main.
before, right, Jim?
We had it before, but then they came back and they want to add a sidewalk cafe, so that's why
Yep.
we're doing it again.
Okay.
That's,
No, this
Oh,
is the
that's-
pool
that's-
hall.
I mean, the pool hall, I'm sorry. Oh, my
Okay.
God. I'm sorry.
formerly known as Sharpshooters.
I'm sorry, thank you. Formerly known as Sharpshooters, so now they want to add a outside little cafe out there.
I think they had that before, right?
They didn't have a cafe, what they did is they had a porch where they can go outside and you can drink. But now I think because of the Spring Fest and things, they probably want to sell food outside and drinks outside.
This will have to go through codes and zoning. This must just speak for the state liquor license.
You're right.
Application that they need to make that notice on there and then have you guys approve.
Right,
Alright.
they're adding a sidewalk cafe.
Yeah, because like even like over at like Lorenzo's, when they put a bar outside, that's another license.
Right.
Oh,
It doesn't count because you have to go over the threshold.
That's correct. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
No?
Resolution 25-26-124, Alderman Marticelli.
Okay, we had a meeting. The golf commission we had it here, golf commission was in full force, and we went over all the rates. And we had Andrew, Robert Shaw, and the pro, and Chris Sherlock, made changes to all the fees, and they had suggestions. We've been talking about this for like 3 meetings. We've been going back and forth. So they decided, they compared other golf courses, what their rates were, and then they come up with the conclusion where, if you look at it, it's very minimal what they went up. Like almost, I think it's like 5% or less they went up for the fees. Some stayed the same as in the legacy and the legacy single. In the juniors, that they kept that the same. And what they did was, the reason for that being, is they rewarded the people who have been very loyal to the golf course. That was their reasoning. Mayor, loyal. Okay, and this is what I came up with, and this is their fee schedule. And that's what we come up with, and that's they're proposing this council.
Any questions?
I think it looks great.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ready to move on? Okay, resolution 2526-125. Alderman William Collins. This resolution is budget transfers on multiple accounts. Louise, do you want to speak on that?
Yeah.
Or do you have any questions for Louise?
So this is really just a matter of addressing some of the budget shortfalls and some of the accounts where we just didn't budget enough. Some of the larger amounts were due to unexpected, repairs. Any specific questions, I'm sure Mike could do a better job addressing them. But this is just, we're halfway through the year, and these were just the accounts that, were the accounts where we identified the funding shortfalls. We're attempting to correct those.
That's the end of our consents. Any other questions?
Anyone else? You want to talk about
We
it?
have 6 minutes.
Okay, we've got 10 minutes to go. And we've got a presentation coming in a regular meeting. So Mike Clark, why don't you do the engineer's report? If you would, please.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is a rehash from the previous meeting. Bid opening on Thursday for Broadway Hill Sewer Improvement Project. It's an upsizing of an existing main to handle the additional demand that is expected from the new Amazon warehouse. This is a no-cost project to the city, being funded by the developer by means of money that has they've escrowed with the city since it is a public project. Bid opening is Thursday, and there's a lot of interest in it. Upgrade of the sewage pump station at the golf course, as soon as the weather warms, whenever that may be. We'll complete that project with the installation of pumps and controls and about 1,800 feet of new force main. The idea being to provide additional capacity at with all the new facilities that are there now. Right now, we are pretty much near maximum in terms of what the current pump station can handle. And it can't handle anymore. So we are, a portion of the work has already been done. It won't be intrusive at all to the new clubhouse because we had key disruptive items installed before the site work was finished up, to include paving and topsoil seating and all of that. All work essentially will take place, all the remaining work will take place off-site from the clubhouse, or it's just installation of equipment in the new tankage. I mentioned before, just as a public service reminder, keep your eyes open. If you see wet roads this time of year, not normal. Just either give my office a call, DPW, depending on the time of the day and the time of the week. It could very well be a water break. Not always, but it could very well be. The CDBG funded demolition project is underway. Did a couple are working on the third house now, I think. The 23. They're wrapping up the second at this point. It should be on the third house by now.
I got 35 and 37, which two were right next to each other, and then they were down at the further one going to 84. They're at the old Marcus Breyer house, finishing that up.
So
What street?
High Street. and-
They're on High to Grove.
anyway, their target is to accomplish at least 2 a week for, until the project's completed. Their target date to be done is, at this point, is early April. Street paving, mentioned that, I'll keep mentioning it. I've gotten some suggested streets from a couple council members. And I know, it was also pointed out to me that, it's pretty snowy and icy right now, so it's kind of hard to tell. I agree, whether or not, one street is worse than the other. But keep it in mind, I would like to have that firmed up sooner than later this year if we can. If you get a break in the weather, if you get the opportunity, just please keep your eyes open in your ward and generate a list. President Ave Bridge, I mentioned that already. That work will resume, it'll probably resume in March, second half of March, when hopefully the weather breaks. And I will take, as always, any questions.
Any questions for the engineer? Okay, thank you, Mike. Just with regards to CHIPS, the governor's budget, might as well just quickly recap some of the highlights that affect our city. The CHIPS funding is going to remain the same for next year. We anticipate no changes, Mike, so hopefully that's going to be good for us. The AIM additional funding has been restored for another year, which means we would get that $310 or $315 million again. One of the things that they did include in the budget for water and sewer systems is an additional $750 million for the extension of water and sewer services to new housing developments, which could have a real impact on Curie, Mike, if that's passed by the legislature. What did not get approved was the SWAP program, which was going to give us money for water and sewer infrastructure projects that we could spend like CHIPS on a priority basis using our own judgment based on, what we needed to use that money for. Again, that did not make the governor's budget. I'm not sure why, but it's going to be offered as a separate piece of legislation as it was last year, and it wasn't approved last year. So I'm not anticipating it will be approved this year. But the good news is that we are being held harmless, quote, on our CHIPS funding, which is good news because we also have that $470,000 left over. So we should have a robust program next year. And the AIM funding was good news as well. Everything else, there's a lot of money for housing, and we've got a lot of housing things going on, Dan, right? And, that's really where the focus is going to be. Okay, why don't we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Call me to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Here.
Alderman Holliday.
Here.
Alderwoman Collins.
Here.
Alderman Carpenter.
Here.
Alderman Marticello.
Here. Motion to adopt the agenda? The motion?
Motion to
Motion
adopt
to adopt the agenda
with 4 consent resolutions.
with 4 consent resolutions.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello. Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
We do not have any proclamations this evening, but we do have a presentation tonight from our folks at CDTA regarding the work that they're proposing to do at the Five Corners intersection. So thank you for being here. Why don't you come up, introduce yourselves, and tell us what you're going to tell us.
And does everyone have hard copies of the presentation?
So these out too. I have a copy of a larger scale version of the plans.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for having us. My name is Emily Laughlin. I'm a planner in the planning department at CDTA. I'm here with Kyle and Mike. I'll let both of you introduce yourselves.
I'm Kyle Gensler, the lead engineer on the project with Labella Associates.
Hi, Mike Williams, Director of Planning, CDTA.
So just a little background about CDTA in Montgomery County. We started service here in August of 2022, so it's been a little over 3 years now. We have several routes in the area that connect, the greater Amsterdam area, and then Amsterdam, Nova Scotia, and then down to downtown Albany. And as of the end of November, one of our routes, Route 602, turned into Route 605. We had some stops at like the Vieux-Fort Mall, and now we operate that 7 days a week. So the Church Street project in particular, I'm sure you all are very familiar with this intersection just up the road here. It's the Church Street and 5 corners of 4th Ave, Forest Ave, J Street, and Kellogg Street. We have 2 bus stops for the 600 that go in each direction. One on the northbound side of the street, just up from the Kellogg J intersection, and then one on the southboundish side on Forest Ave. These stops are heavily used by school riders. I think, my correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was 25 boardings in the northbound direction and about the same number of lightings in the southbound direction per day. Next couple pictures are some pictures of project location that we're looking at. Our bus comes in from the Kellogg Street area, turns right onto Church Street, and then vice versa in the opposite direction. So as we service this stop, we just noticed a little bit of challenges turning left onto Kellogg and turning right off of Kellogg, the way Kellogg and J come together at Church Street. So part of the project, we wanted to look at ways to improve the street design, make it a little bit safer for pedestrians crossing, shorten crossing distance. We're looking at, lighting impacts, things like that. We just want to take a holistic look at that intersection and what improvements can possibly be made. So the next page there is a project timeline. So we started service, looked at that intersection, and then we applied for a transportation alternative programs grant through New York State DOT. That was awarded in June of 2024. Over the course of the 10 or so months after that, we procured Lovella for engineering services to take a look at that intersection with us, see what improvements could be made. Last summer, we kicked off the project. We're working right now on the outreach piece, meeting with all of you, connecting with the landowners, especially the gas stations that are on that corner, and their access points for their customers. And we're working with those different pieces to finalize the design with the goal of starting construction probably next spring, conservatively, and then construction would be through that summer season. So that kind of gets to the details of the design, which I'll throw over to you.
Yeah. So I passed out a plan sheet in 11x17 of just roughly what the plan is here, but I've been out there a couple times and it's just pretty much a wide open expanse of asphalt. People, especially coming from J Street or Kellogg, aren't sure where to stop at the intersection. And based on the sight line with the gas station, you're kind of inching out at the intersection, but you're not really sure when you can turn. You got people turning left. It's just kind of unsafe and people are kind of flying through it. So our main focus on this project is to improve the pedestrian access and safety through this route. So what you can see is we have on the south corners 2 landscape pieces where we're trying to bring the new curb and sidewalk into the roadway to channelize traffic a little bit more, as well as adding definitive stop bars and crosswalks on Kellogg and J, so that people actually know where they should be stopping and where they can see. One thing to note is New York 67, Church Street is a truck access route. So we do need to accommodate the large tractor trailers driving through that intersection. And as Emily mentioned, the CDTA buses are going to be turning left as they turn onto Kellogg from that intersection as well. So we did make sure that all the trucks and all the buses can make the turns through those curb lines. And then on the northeast corner of the project, we're considering a push button activated RRFB to make the crossing there safer because it is unsignalized, and that'll be more of a visual cue for anybody crossing there.
Did you tell us what an RRF?
The rectangular rapid flashing beacons. So you have the school crossing signs, but instead of just being a yellow sign with the arrow pointing down, like in the presentation, it'll actually have lights under it that flash whenever someone's in the crosswalk.
That's great.
And then on the north corner too, we would pull in that corner. Right now, it's really just open asphalt, but we would put a new sidewalk and curb line in front of the pit stop gas station to help, again, channelize pedestrians and traffic a little more clearly.
The green area on these, plans and the gray and the shaded on your larger one, is that a build out? What is that?
A build out?
It's in between the sidewalk and the existing gas stations on the
Yeah.
one side.
That's just potential landscaping. So right now, that's all asphalt. You can see on the southwest corner there that you can see the dotted line through the green area. That's their existing driveway. So what we would do is consolidate their driveways to the two other entrances. They don't need all four entrances there. Same thing on the north end. Right now, it's really just open asphalt. There is no curbing or anything there, so anyone can enter from any of those angles, but we'd be consolidating their driveway to just two access points.
Are you potentially making the road narrower or the intersection narrower? Is that?
That's basically the whole point of the project.
To make it narrower?
Yeah, so you can actually see that dotted line is the existing curb line and sidewalk through that area on the corner. And then on the other side, on the southeast side, that sidewalk is the curb line. So all that green expanse would be pulling the curb out into the road that's currently there. Doing that would mean we'd also have to put in a couple new drainage basins, which I noted on the plans, because obviously if you're pulling out the curb, you need to make sure water is going to flow to your new drainage. The new original system is further back on the curb. We just have to make a connection to it. And then you can see there's two utility poles that are on the southeast corner that ideally we would relocate and have National Grid coordinate with us to move into that landscaped area. Right now, it's technically not ADA at all. There's only 2 or 3 feet from the pole to the back of the sidewalk there, and ideally you need 4 feet. So same thing on the west side. There's another pole there where we have a little bump out for the sidewalk. That's another spot where technically you don't have that minimum clearance for a wheelchair to get around there. So we would bump it out as far as we can to the right of way to get around that pole. So we don't have to relocate it ideally.
Have you spoken to any of the business owners that are on these corners?
I
Has
believe that's
anybody
part of
went
the
and
next-
talked to them?
Yeah,
Yes.
we wanted to do this presentation first, make the city aware, and then reach out to the property owners.
Did you have any numbers for traffic accidents in that intersection from past years?
We did look into that, especially for the RFP, and it did warrant, like it makes it so that it's worth considering. But the accident rate, I believe, was slightly higher than the statewide average for that intersection.
For this entire intersection?
Yes.
Really? Interesting. I've never seen an accident.
I've never
other
seen an
than a
accident there either.
pedestrian one that was a significant accident within the last 18 months, but, I know it looks weird.
I think we
People
look-
from around here, there's not a lot of accidents. That's why I was asking if you had
Yes.
actually concrete data. Thank you.
Yes, we do.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Now, if you look at this map, and you have it right in front of you, okay, and you're coming down Fourth Avenue, your Fourth Avenue,
Yes.
that's in the northwest. I noticed you got a crosswalk here and you got a white line behind it. How does a person approach that intersection? He has to go over that crosswalk, and then he has to creep in?
That's typically how it goes. We run into a lot of cases like this where you're not gonna have the sight distance that you want, but we still need to put in an ADA crossing to the curb ramps that do exist.
You're gonna have a problem with that sidewalk in front of the pit stop, because you're gonna come out, look how far you gotta come out to look. Take a look how far you have to come out and look with that sidewalk in front of the pit stop,
Are you talking about coming off of Forest, Jim?
coming off Fourth Avenue.
Fourth, okay.
Coming off Fourth Avenue and you're approaching, going east, and there's a little white line there where you're
Yeah.
gonna stop. And then as people are gonna cross and go on that sidewalk, and then they're gonna go up here and get the bus stop. And then when you come out of here, you're gonna creep so far that you're in the lane, Route 67 going north.
Sure.
Because of that sidewalk where you have it, you can't see.
Well, the sidewalk isn't gonna visually obstruct anybody that's looking across the turn. The only vertical obstruction you have there's a little square with a dot in it. That is the pit stop sign. That technically is the only visual obstruction on that corner. The rest is completely open.
I'm assuming also, if I could jump in, that the drainage basin and the moving of the utility poles and all that other stuff is covered by the grant too?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And just out of curiosity as well, it's very busy, especially in the summer, especially, it's a lot of people travel this route to go to Saratoga, for example, through our city and other places, but regardless, what's your anticipated, like bottlenecking with traffic, and how do these projects, how do they usually go about doing projects like this to kind of alleviate traffic obstructions?
Well, the nature of this project should not really affect traffic overall. If anything, it's just helping people get through the intersection, but.
Of course, no, I mean during construction.
Oh, during construction?
Yeah.
Well, then we would plan work zones and everything for that.
Sure.
As necessary.
Well, of course, yeah, do you see it? Do you see an undertaking like this of this scale? Like, maybe I'll word it differently. An undertaking of this scale, have you seen in the past create major traffic issues? That's my question.
It depends.
Do they plan on doing like both sides of the road at the same time? Or are they gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, of course.
What's it look like?
I mean, worst case, a job like this, you could do alternating.
It's
one
already
way.
terrible with traffic, am I wrong?
I would say there's
It's your
probably
ward,
over
so.
10,000 cars that travel that road every day. I mean, if we have 17,000 on Market Street, there's gotta be,
We should have the numbers.
you know, that's a main road that's constantly busy.
That's definitely part of the final designing process, is coming up with the work zone control plan.
And you work with our city, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we can coordinate that, we can, make sure we take that input in on how busy it is, so we're not as disruptive.
And there's always options for, we can specify that night work is required instead of, disrupting during business hours. There's plenty of solutions to help
Fan of that.
alleviate
But there's
traffic
been plenty
Yeah.
of construction on Church Street the last 5 years too. I mean, we're pretty used to that. With the repaving,
The property behind Pit Stop is for development. The city owns that, and we're working on some, environmental issues on it, but it's we hope to market that. The entrance and exit, the access and egress to that is that impacted in any way by this?
No, we would just pull the plan for the roadway that we're impacting, we would plan to mill and fill. But really the only entrance that we'd be affecting is the pit stop where that new sidewalk is going in on the very north corner. Otherwise, we wouldn't be touching anything beyond that point. So that would still be all open driveway.
Any other questions?
I think it'll be great.
See, my question to you is, it wasn't the visual, it was the sidewalk.
Yes.
When you take a left, and you have to get in that right lane, look how far out you gotta go.
Yes.
That's dangerous.
I
I
mean, we
used to
could,
drive a bus, that's why I know that.
of course. The easiest solution, if, we wanted to pursue that, would be to pull that corner further up.
Now you're talking.
We can absolutely pursue that,
Yeah,
but
right.
that would be the solution there. But in terms of site visibility, you do have what you need otherwise.
Site, but when you're gonna swing that turn out, I know what you're doing for the bus to make a nice wide turn,
Yes.
that's what you're doing. But then think about a car coming up that Church Street, and they go a little bit, touch more than 35 miles an hour. You see, and then you gotta creep out into that intersection. It's just something you should look at.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Chief, how do you feel about this plan?
I'd like to go back over my own numbers about accidents and tickets and speed in that zone, and then I could give you a more accurate determination.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
if people have additional concerns, or like, how do we follow up with you the
Yeah,
ways, if anybody comes up with something later?
yeah, we can share, Dan and Mike, if you want to share it on to everyone, and then you can reach out with any questions or comments.
And you will be talking to all of the businesses in the area now.
Absolutely, yeah. And just the last page there was just next steps, and it was that property outreach, talking to National Grid, and
Right.
moving forward there. So yeah, any feedback is greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks for coming. All right, now we are now into the public participation section of our meeting. So anyone from the public who would like to speak, please come to the podium and state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes to tell us what you want to tell us.
Christian Rivera, yes, again, I want the mayor and council to make the technical information for the new and old streetlights available to the public, because light pollution is a problem. I want a meeting room made available in City Hall so that city residents can meet with city council members during the day. I want to advocate for a green corridor across the city and protection for trees because we're losing too many trees from landowners cutting them. Two examples of this are number 1 and 2nd Ave, where the Adirondack Tree Service cut a forested area. And number 2, the Sassafras Forest, which was criminally given away by the Amsterdam School Board to an LLC, which is now chopping up the forest for frisbee throwing. I want to note that the dog barking ordinance does not work to stop barking dogs, neither early mornings or for hours throughout the day, barking hours throughout the day. The ordinance does nothing and hinges on the absurd application and definition of the word continuous. I would bet that next to 0 tickets are issued for barking dogs. There are so many more inadequate city ordinances which are degrading quality of life, which are not being addressed by the Democratic Party, which has for 4 years had a 4-to-1 majority and the mayor's seat. I want to demand that 2 train quiet zones be implemented at Guy Park and Quist Street. And I will ask the mayor and council again, does the city director of community and economic development, Daniel Gray, even live in the city of Amsterdam? If he did, surely he would be working on this issue, right? I demand that the council pass the, quote, protecting animals and reducing fireworks noise pollution, unquote, resolution, which I have been pushing for years because animals and the environment deserve protection. I want city residents to join me in demanding these things. Now let me move on to equally important issues. I want to talk about the criminal attack on Venezuela and the kidnapping of the democratically elected president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, by war criminal Trump. Let me plainly say, this is imperialism, US imperialism. I ask you, how do we stop US imperialism? The first step to deal with the problem is admitting that you have one. First, admit that US imperialism is a problem, admit this openly, declare it publicly to every Democratic elected politician above you. Second, dispense with partisanship and stop pretending your own presidents are not imperialists. Third, recognize that the US Constitution gives criminal impunity to US presidents and allows them to appoint and fire their own supposed overseer, the Attorney General. Fourth, recognize that the US drug war is a tool of US imperialism created to attack the foreign and domestic population. You're attacking our own population besides the rest of the globe with this plant war. To that end, I want a letter written by this council and mayor demanding the immediate freedom of the democratically elected president of Venezuela, an immediate end to the blockade of Venezuela, the military and economic blockade of Venezuela, because that's what imperialism is, military and economic, and Cuba, and all sanctions removed against Venezuela. Included in this letter must be a denouncement of US imperialism and demands for mechanism to criminally prosecute US presidents while in office and calling for legalization of the coca leaf, which is a superfood. This plant has been here on this continent before Europeans even arrived. It is a gift. I want this letter sent to the governor, the state, federal politicians in all districts, and to the war criminal president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public who would like to speak this evening? Okay, thank you very much. Stacy, clerk's report.
So this meeting, I have 2 different reports. I have the report from what we did in our office in December of 2025. So birth certificates, we printed 88 of those, which was 5 less than 2024, 140 death certificates, which was 34 more than 2024. Dog licenses were 43. Marriage certificates, we printed 13 of those. There were 23 new births in December of 2025. There were 19 deaths. 22 of the 43 dog licenses were new, and we had 6 marriages that came through our office in December of 2025. There were 77 total FOILs processed. 14 of those were accidents. 27 were police incidents, 22 were property inquiries, 14 were other miscellaneous items, and I notarized 54 documents in December. I'm working with Marvin currently into a FOIL database to streamline the process much better. And then I'm hoping by February of this year to roll out to each of you council members a portal where you can look at signed local laws, ordinances, and resolutions from 25 and 26, and you'll have access to a spreadsheet which has the local laws and ordinances from 2021 through present on it. So if you're at home on a Saturday and you're like, oh, I wish Stacy was at work so she could look this up for me, you can wait till Monday, or you can look it up and then say, hey, can you send me a copy of this on Monday? You'll know where it's at. So the other thing that I did for this meeting was I put together what we did in our office for the total of 2025 for the entire year. So, and I'm not going to read what we did 2024 because it's right there in front of you, but just to give you a overhaul, the birth certificates, we printed 1,779 birth certificates in our office in 2025, 1,401 death certificates, 604 dog licenses, and 302 marriage certificates were printed in our office. Births, there were 380 new births in Amsterdam in December, or not in December, in 2025, 254 deaths, 219 of the 604 dog licenses were new, and there were 119 marriage licenses that were issued out of our office. We processed 859 FOILs, 142 of those were accident requests, 396 were police incidents, 276 were property inquiries, there were 45 miscellaneous items. I notarized 322 documents. And then the handicap placards, I'm gonna start adding that because that's a big thing what we do in our office. So there were 713 handicap placards that were issued. 632 of those were permanent and 81 of those were temporary. And just a side note on that, those are issued, they're every 3 years. So this is probably a third, I would guess, of what we actually have for the city.
Thank you. Any questions for the clerk? Thank you very much.
Good job, Stacy, thank you.
And if I ever do call you on a Saturday for that information, you can hang up on me.
No, I won't hang up on you.
Say check
I'll
your
probably be like, you need to give me a minute.
I'm going.
No, I will still be available. It's just giving you guys the no, like on a Monday, but if you're at home or late at night and you're like, oh,
Thinking about the
I
city.
really want to, figure this out.
Or sometimes we only need like one little piece of information, like we don't really need to like bother you for the whole thing, you know?
So it'll
Yeah,
be, what I have available will be
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very
great.
much.
ready for you guys.
Fantastic report, appreciate it. Louise, you're next. Controllers report.
Okay, will be fairly brief. My controller's report that you have in front of you represents half year. We're the half year point within our budget year, so this represents a half year of revenue and a half year of spending. Everything is, on target as far as I'm concerned. Nothing unusual. We budgeted $1.5 million in contingency lines. And as you can see, up until the resolution that I had before you, we haven't really tapped into those much. I do expect that to change now that we're entering the second half of our budget year. The resolution that you will be approving tonight will be moving about 270,000 out of this contingency line to offset the budget accounts that that are in the resolution that is being approved tonight. So that's it. Any questions?
Any questions for controller? We also did compile a complete list of capital projects. We have 25 capital projects on the plan. And we are in the process now of going through them, prioritizing them, budgeting for them, is estimating their cost. So it was a good achievement this past week. No other questions for our controller. We will move on to we did the engineering report, and we do have some old business, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So-
At this time, we're on the old business. I'm gonna take off the table the resolution that we tabled last week concerning liaisons to the various departments.
That's a motion. Made a motion to take it off the table.
That's the motion.
Yeah, call the roll.
Yes. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Thank you.
So I will read it. Resolution 2526-112, resolution designating committee assignments by Alderman Marticello.
Do you want us to read them or we okay?
No, we're fine.
Oh, we're okay. So moved. Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Okay, then we're on to new business. And,
Resolution number 2526-118, resolution adopting minutes from last common council meeting by Alderwoman Collins.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
I'm sorry, it's the wrong date on the resolved.
Oh. Make a
I'm sorry, I just
make a
noticed
motion
that.
to change it.
can we just change that date?
Yes.
We can just change that.
Let's make a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion to amend this to January sixth.
So Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
So do I need to call the roll completely again? Okay. With the change, so Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Which one is it?
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-119, resolution appointing deputy mayor by Alderwoman Quistamars. Whereas at the 2026 organizational meeting for the city, Alderman Chris Carpenter having appointed as deputy mayor via resolution number 109, and whereas on January 9th, 2026, Alderman Carpenter having resigned as deputy mayor, thereby creating a vacancy in the appointed position, and whereas by way of instant resolution, the common council unanimously puts forward the nomination of Alderwoman Irene Collins to fill the vacancy of deputy mayor. It is hereby resolved that pursuant to the provision of Article 3, Section C24 of the Amsterdam City Charter, Irene Collins is hereby designated as deputy mayor to serve as presiding officer of the common council in the event of the absence or incapacity of the mayor, and to serve as acting mayor as provided for in the charter.
So moved. Any discussion? You can call the roll, please.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
I will recuse myself from voting.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-120, resolution authorizing 2026 fees for recreation department events and activities.
I'm gonna make a motion to, I'm gonna remove it from,
Table.
if I table it, if we
Comes
make
back,
any
goes back.
changes.
Mhm.
Right, so I think I'll just
Withdraw it.
withdraw it.
Withdraw it.
Yes, thank you.
So we don't have to call roll for withdrawal, right?
We do.
No, it's a motion to withdraw
Okay.
the resolution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-121, resolution approving audit by Alderwoman Collins.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-122, consent. Resolution appointing Commissioner of Deeds by Alderman Holliday. Whereas Commissioners of Deeds, by way of general background, relate to the authentication of signatures for documents executed within the city of Amsterdam in the presence of the Commissioner of Deeds, similar to the function of a notary public. And whereas, upon the request of the subject individual, the Common Council being desirous to appoint the following individual as a Commissioner of Deeds as authorized by Executive Law, Section 139, Kathy Bonfey, 1250 Riverfront Center, Amsterdam, New York. Therefore, be it hereby resolved that Commissioner of Deeds appointment is hereby made for the above-named individual for a period of 2 years from the date of their appointment.
So moved. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-123 consent. Resolution waiving 30-day advance notice application for liquor license Pool Prodigy LLC by Alderman Marticello.
This please read the first whereas clause.
Whereas Pool Prodigy LLC submitted an application for a liquor license to the State Liquor Authority to sell liquor, wine, beer, and cider at the location of 35 East Main Street in the city of Amsterdam, adding a sidewalk cafe.
So moved. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter. Resolution number 2526-124 consent by Alderman Marticello. Resolution approving golf fees and rates for the Amsterdam Municipal Golf Course 2026 season.
Please read the resolve clause.
Resolved that the rates and fees for the 2026 season at the Amsterdam Municipal Golf Course as set forth as an attached copy of the 2026 rate proposal are hereby approved.
So moved. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter.
Okay.
One more.
I'm sorry, we got one more consent. I hear you.
Resolution number 2526-125, consent by Alderwoman Collins. Resolution budget transfer multiple accounts. Whereas multiple budget accounts have incurred additional costs that were not budgeted for, and additional funds need to be transferred to these accounts to cover these costs.
So moved. Can I get discussion? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Thank you. Alderwoman Quistamars had approached me regarding an idea she had for Safe Streets Working Group. And I told her that I would discuss it with Chief Spencer, and I have. And what I'd like to do is at the next meeting, put that on the cow so we can have a discussion about it. And I do have your outline. If you want to add anything more to that, I think it's a good start. And we'll discuss it at that point in time. But Chief Spencer's been informed and he likes the idea, so we'll go forward with it at the next cow, okay?
Okay.
Other than that, I have nothing further. Anyone else like to say anything? Okay, thank you very much. Motion to adjourn?
Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You too.